So I'm gonna just try something new here and go out on a limb and hope you guys like it. So today we're going to talk about Gambit. Gambit's my second favourite X-Men, and maybe favourite, who knows, next to Rachel Grey. I'm just going to cover everything I know about Gambit in this, and as it says in the title, this is just Gambit according to me, in part of my X-Men according to me series. Which means that there's no world fact checking on this. This is just me recording all in one take little snippet of Gambit in my mind. I was supposed to get some opinions on this first, but I didn't, so let's just go ahead with this. Gambit was like a orphan in New Orleans, and he kind of hung around the French Quarter until he stole something from one of the members of the Thieves Guild, if you've ever watched the 90s cartoon. And he was quite impressed because it was the actual leader of the Thieves Guild at the time. And so he took him in as his son, an adopted son. So like, he became the son and he just kind of got adapted into the Thieves Guild and everything. And, apparently I wasn't meant to record this yet. Well, what do you know? Bit late, isn't it? Anyway, he kind of just adapted and he learned the ways, and the Thieves Guild had this rival guild called the Assassins Guild. And one day, Gambit, or Remy LeBeau, the LeBeau name he got from his family name from being adopted and everything, and there's something about his joke being devilized because he's white skin and red eyes and everything, but that's not really important. One day he meets this really, really pretty girl who they both fall in love like at first sight. They have no clue who each other is though. She's the princess of the Assassin's Guild, and it's like a Romeo and Juliet sort of thing. And it goes on for a few years, and under the cover, and then eventually the guilds find out, and they're like, well, we could use this, let's work for this. Instead of screwing this up, we can use this for our advantage. So they decide to organise a marriage between the two of them, and at the wedding, of course, there's anyone who objects, and surprisingly enough, the brother of the wife-to-be objects and requests a trial of combat with Gambit. Unfortunately, in this trial, Gambit breaks one of the rules and uses his mutant power, which, as I haven't explained yet, is he can charge edge objects with kinetic energy based on their size, leading to an explosion should they be thrown. Usually his playing cards, sometimes his bow staff on him, so that it explodes when it hits stuff. You get the basic idea. The bigger it is, the harder it is to charge. And as he says, first you get the card, then you charge it, and then you throw. Another little 90s throwback, probably got that all misquoted as well, which is lovely. So yeah, that's pretty much how Gambit got kicked out of New Orleans. He got exiled for killing the brother by accident. And of course Belladonna kind of hated him for it. Belladonna, I think, is the wife's name. I'm just kind of going off the top of my head here, so who knows. So he kind of wandered around for a bit, and there's this bloke called Mr. Sinister who... God. Oh dear, Mr. Sinister. Mr. Sinister's a mess. This is a really big mess. He's funny. He's confusing. He kind of like... Gambit knows him, so Gambit's like, yo, my powers are mad. I need a hand, mate. By this point, Gambit's getting to near total kinetic energy control. And for those of you who don't understand what that's like, I think it's in Gambit's solo series. One of them, there's the New Sun saga, where if you guys know who the Executioner is, he's like a murderer of mutants. On Gambit's Earth, on this alternate Gambit's Earth, he has become that because he's just so benign and powerful. He can just snap, just think, explode. There's things like that. He comes like a dangerous motherfucker, and he's evil. And then normal Gambit gets his de-lobotomized, which is what's about to happen, and becomes even more powerful. It's crazy. So then what happens is, if Gambit's like, yo, Mr. Sinister, my man, remove some of my brain, make me less powerful. And he's like, yeah, sure, I can do that, but it's gonna be a cost, mate, This thing ain't free. I ain't do no freaking lobotomizing for free, I ain't a clinic. I'm a businessman. And so he's like, just go get these people together for me and tell them to go to this place, and then it's all chill. So what we find out he did is that Gambit goes around, he gets all these people, this really, like, these mercenaries basically, like Sabretooth and I want to say Lady Deathstrike's there, but I really don't know. I'm really bad at, like, the specifics of names unless I've looked it up and everything, so this is why this is going to be really funny, because you guys are going to correct me if everything I get wrong. And then he gets this group together and he takes them down to the to these sewers in New York, and they've received their brief from Mr. Miracle, and like Gambit, and then he's just like, one more thing. He's like, yeah, one more thing, Gambit, my man. Just take these guys all the way in, you know. You know where you need to go, but I just want you to lead them in there. Just show them a way, you know. Be like a friendly old Frenchman, you know. And he's like, Gambit's like, oh yeah, sure, I mean, of course, I do that thing for yeah. Again, that's probably more racist than it is funny, so whatever. Oh joy. Gambit kind of like. At this point, he's just basically going around, oh, well, this is bad, because he sees then that these mercenaries are just brutally murdering these inhabitants of the sewer they're in, which is when we link into the rest of the Marvel continuity, really, aside from the link with Mr. Sinister, of course. And this is the Mutant Massacre. For you X-Men fans, you'll know what that is. It's when Kitty nearly died. It's around the time Storm lost her powers, a bit before, I think, because it's Fall of the Mutants when she gets them back. Then Rogue is introduced a little later on after this. Something happens with Colossus. I think he gets his back broken by one of the Marauders. And oh god, so much bad stuff happens in the Mutant Massacre. It's horrible. It's a really, really nasty thing. And Gambit, as soon as he sees all this is happening, he's like, oh shoot, and he kind of like runs, and he grabs a Morlock baby on his way out. So the Morlocks, for all you don't know, are like these mutants with specific group of mutants with facial deformities who can't, or like physical deformities, as part of their mutation, who can't be out in public because they will be recognised and abused and everything. And it's so bad for them. They've got it really hard. So Mr. Sinister thinks he created them, which is why he's sending these guys off to get rid of them, because he's like, oh, I made a mistake, time to fix it, sort of shit, you know, basic deal, tidy up after yourself, basically. So he's a good man in that respect. He's not a good man at all, he's an asshole, Mr. Sinister. But oh well. So Gambit buggers off and goes to he goes to do his stuff, and he takes some more Mara away and everything, and you know, that's all chill. And at some point later on, he meets up with Kid Storm. Kid Storm is confusing, okay? Storm is a lovely character, she's great. And at one point she turns into a child. Again, because of something powerful, and I believe it's got something to do with Forge, because there's a thing there or something. That was, maybe, sure. And then, this really cool bit where, like, sure, Gambit's a bit of a perv when it comes to girls, but then when not with their kids, he's, like, really good at being, like, friendly with them, which is quite nice, because, like, he builds good relationships and everything, and it works really well. It's really nice to see and stuff. So Gambit has this really good relationship with Kid Storm, and then Kid Storm goes back from being Kid Storm to normal Storm, and Gambit joins the X-Men, and it's all good for a bit. Gambit gets with Rogue be like, yeah, but Gambit, I can't touch people, sugar, cause my hands will make you go into a coma. Again, pretty bad 90s references, let's go. They're amazing. Gambit was that's pretty much most of his like basic origin and stuff, and he's introduced in well, it's really, really confusing because he's got a cameo appearance in like Annual 17 or something of X-Men, and then he has a first appearance in like issue 244 or 224 of the main series. I think I want to say it wasn't Uncanny though, it was main X-Men, not Uncanny X-Men, because there were two series running at, well, there was like 9 X books running at one point, but hey, you get the picture. And then after a while, the X-Men found out about Gambit's involvement with the Mutant Massacre through Rogue, I think, because when I touch someone, I absorb the life energy. I'm gonna stop now. I'm gonna stop that. She absorbs their life energy or their power and their memories, and so she absorbs Gambit's memories when she has sex or something. I don't know. You get the picture. It happens a lot. They have a really, really dodgy relationship because of it. and Gambit gets kicked out of the X-Men for it. Because like, do we really trust this person who nearly killed half of our team, inadvertently? Who released, he was responsible for one of the most horrific massacres in mutant history. And it's like, so yeah, he kicks with the team, he goes down to Antarctica for a bit, some weird shit happens. Antarctica is really, really weird. Okay? I don't even know what happens with a lot of the Antarctica time. And then some stuff happens, he goes through the Savage Land, he gets back with the X-Men, relationships with Rogue, he becomes the King of Thieves in like the 2012 mini-solo series. He gets back with Rogue on a mission after Rogue's banged Deadpool a couple times, and then they get married in X-Men Gold, and then they have a Mr. and Mrs. X series, which is cool and weird and stuff. And they've got a really nice apartment. Well, Gambit does at least. He's got a great apartment. So yeah, that's pretty much Gambit, you know? Thanks for listening. I'm gonna do some more X-Men stuff next time. I love X-Men. And I recorded this at about midnight for me, so I'm really tired. I'm gonna go to sleep now. Good night.